Oh, like raw dog in the straw? Raw dog in the straw into the drink? Dishwasher Freddy might have been drinking out of my drink. Nah, don't raw dog my shit. Nah, don't do that. What's going on, YouTube? Today we got another video of why Americans won't tip, the problem with tipping in America. Video by Prosper the Traveler. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it.
Money to tip your server and you go out to eat and don't tip your server, I have zero respect for you.
Paint me out to be the villain here because I'm not. I'm just going to share my opinion. I've never been a server, but I never would because I know the nonsense that they have to deal with on a daily basis and I know I cannot manage it. I automatically respect someone who was or is a server. However, we need to stop blaming the customers and calling them cheap and stingy just because they don't tip, because tipping is not mandatory. It is a choice. 98% of the time when I go out to eat, I tip because my service is at least good. It just has to be good in order for you to get a tip. If your service is bad to the point where I don't want to come back, I'm not giving you a tip. But it is not the customer's job to pay your wage. We need to be taking this up with companies who are not paying their staff enough money. Tipping culture has gone insane in America. A lot of places nowadays add the gratuity to your receipt, so you don't even have...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, boy. I hate... Boy, that's one thing. You want to tick me off? Add gratuity to my bill. Add gratuity. Let me tip. Let me tip. It's so bad, man. You get gratuity added. I went on a cruise and they added a gratuity for me being on the cruise. Like, what? Adding gratuity to my stuff, you don't know what I was gonna tip. Honestly, you fucking over the person that I was gonna tip, because most of the time I probably was gonna tip more than gratuity anyway, but you just automatically putting it on there and then trying to be sneaky with it. Slides you the stuff real quick. I talked about that in another video. They slide it to you real quick. You eating, you drinking, you ain't really paying no attention like that. Especially like if you ain't really like just hard off of money or nothing like that. You ain't really just scrutinizing the bill, and they slide that gratuity. I hate that. I hate that, man. Look, y'all can't tell I'm passionate about that gratuity shit. I hate it.
Choice to choose how much you want to tip if you want to tip. Blame the wage makers, not the customers.
Man, I never eat at a Mexican restaurant again. I kid you fucking not. They so racist, cuz. Worst experience of my life. So, mind you, I go to a Mexican restaurant 2 days ago. Mind you, I gonna make a video yesterday, but I was at work. So, I go. We get our drinks. They said, what y'all want to drink? I said, Sprite. She said, water. My partner said, Sprite. We get the Sprite. Why the fuck is the straw already in the shit? So, we German folk, we don't want that. We said, can we get a plastic? Can we get another plastic straw? Like, so we can open that shit. Like, I kid you not. The straws is already in the drink. Imagine, nigga, you come to, let's say you go to Starbucks and they take your shit and put it in your drink.
Nah, don't put your stuff in there. I let people get away with, like, I've seen it in a restaurant where they would like halfway tear the straw paper off and put it in there, but the paper still be on top. So you have to pull that part where you actually put your lips on. But like the whole, like raw dog in the straw? Raw dog in the straw into the drink? Dishwasher Freddy might have been drinking out of my drink. Nah, don't raw dog my shit. Nah, don't do that.
So we like, nah, man gonna say, $2. $2. You want extra straw? $2. So I'm like, all right, cool. We let that go. Boom, we let that go. Chips and salsa, mind you. Everybody know once you get chips and salsa, that shit it's for the table. So mind you, it's for the table.
Free.
They get done eating. We say, can we get another thing of chips and salsa? $4. Mind you, we been going for years. They never charge us. They never charge us $4. So we like, okay, cool, bro. Right, they on some shit. Okay, they cool. So mind you, my girl get done with her water. I ask him, is it $2 for water? Nah, water free. All right, cool. So I'm not like, boom. I said, boom. So we get our food. What the hell happened? She get her food. She said, can we get plastic silverware? This nigga say $2. At this point, I said, where your manager? He just pointed at the lady. I go to the lady. Oh, me no manager. All right, cool. Mind you, it's 3 people. At the end, we get our tab. We eat the food, cool. We got our tab. This nigga put gratuity on our shit.
That gratuity again.
Was 5 and more. Some 4 and more. But I ain't never heard gratuity for 3. So then, boom, I'm like, okay, cool. We leave. I'm never going back again. They be acting like Nigga, we in the same boat. Nigga, we in the same boat. Even people don't like us and they don't like you either. Nigga, we...
Now, I will say now, so I worked in the food industry before. And some of my worst customers were my own kind. I ain't even gonna hold you, man. Some of my worst customers were my own kind. Now, it was the reasoning. I never understood that, man. It's like a normal customer that wasn't my kind would come in, they get to the table, they order what they gonna order, they have a good time, they pay, they tip, they out. But my people will come in there. I mean, as soon as they come in there, it's like the order. I get it as a service, but the order got to be this. You got to do that. You got to do this. Oh, we want this. We want that. You know, oh, this ain't good. Send this back. Pull this back. Oh, I ain't like this. Send this back. I don't want to pay for this because this ain't. It was just so much every time. Now, I'm all about customer service. And hey, if you go to a restaurant, get what you want. You paying for it. But that was just the trend that I experienced. Now, I'm not taking up for this restaurant because these restaurants are price gouging, but I'm pretty sure probably that restaurant had a lot of people coming in, right? Eating up all the chips. That's what they charging for, eating up all the chips. You know, just being in their culture probably wasteful. And then giving them problems, not want to pay for it. So now they got to charge some stuff on the front end. You know, it probably wasn't his brother's fault. I know it wasn't his brother's fault. It ain't the person's fault that's just not getting there. But something had to cause that. If he been there for years, ain't never had that problem. And prices are going up. That's why I eat at home. Just eat at home. Cook your own meals. You ain't even got to worry about all this, brother. You ain't even got to worry about it.
You teaming up at this point. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Y'all servers be blocking y'all blessings. And I'ma just say this. I used to be a server. I served for about 4 years. And that was like my first job. And I be seeing a lot of people come on here, a lot of servers always coming on here saying that black people don't tip, all of this, blah, blah, blah. Black people are like this when they go out to eat. And to me, I just feel like when you already have that mindset and you have to serve black people throughout the day, you're going to radiate that energy and they're not going to want to tip you because you're going to give off the vibe like you're stereotyping them, regardless of if you're doing it consciously and realize you're doing it or not. People can feel that. Like, you don't just have a right to give people trashy service just because you think they're not gonna tip. Me being a server for as long as I was, I know black people tip. I've got some of my biggest tips from black people. So for y'all to sit here and say black people don't tip is crazy. But I'm gonna say this too, because me and my men just went to a bar and this server really did block her blessing, because we go in there, it's like a bar, but it's like a restaurant too, but mainly like a bar. So we're there and we're eating and we're drinking and stuff, and she's coming to the table like, oh yeah, we're slow tonight, and you know, I only made about $30, but we're about to shut the kitchen down or whatever. Now, me being a server, that with the decency that I have, I would never walk up to a table and tell them how much I made that night, because it would make it seem like I'm being desperate, like I'm trying to make them feel bad or whatever, like I'm trying to make them tip me in a way. But that's not even the part that got me. I completely understood that because, like I said, I was a server before. But what got me was when we ended up getting done eating all of our food and stuff, she ended up bringing the check. And you know how you get a check before you give them the credit card, the receipt? I get the receipt, it's $91.34, right? So I give her my card. Mind you, I was about to tip her $25 because I was like, you know, she was on her shit. She really made sure that we had everything we needed. But, you know, this one little thing had happened, so it really, like, rubbed me the wrong way. So she swipes my card and she brings the check back. But she brings it back, flipped over, and then she walks off. So I turn over the check and I look at it, and why did she add $3.64 on there? Now, there is nowhere on this check, nowhere in this bar at all where I ever was charged like extra for no reason. So it just blew me because it kind of made me feel like she felt like I wasn't gonna tip her. So with that kind of energy, I was like, I don't feel like I should give her $25, because it's not the simple fact that you thought I wasn't gonna tip you. It's a simple fact that after you swipe my card or before you swipe my card, you put extra money on the check. You authorized my card for whatever you just put on there, that extra $3. And I ain't tripping about no $3. It's the principle. So in my mind, I was like, I'm not just gonna not tip her because I know good and well she been here all night. She might have actually not made no money. It was pretty slow in there. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna still tip her, but she not getting that $25. So I still ended up tipping her $10. But I say that to say this. Y'all need to stop judging people based off their skin color.
Now I wouldn't tip that at all. You ain't finna charge me. Now hold up now. You know. Now that's the problem. That's the problem we at right now. You know, we got a feud between the customer and the goddamn server, man. Now you don't charge me for no reason. You know, I worked in the Waffle House before. Worked in the Waffle House. That Waffle House is shut down now as it should be. It shut down. Man, them servers was cracking folks across the head using credit cards, man. That's why I was telling all my people, don't come in this Waffle House and use no credit card. Bro, they'll they'll hit you so slick with like a little $2, $1. And most of the time you came to Waffle House, you come out to the club, you drunk, you ain't really paying no attention. So they'll slide a little $2, $3 in there. Sound like this girl was trying to do the little same thing. Slide a little, yeah, don't charge my card. Like, honestly, if I would have saw that charge, I'd probably been like, hey, what this is? You know, she would have been whatever, even though I already knew. And I don't think she would have got a tip from me on there. But yeah, it's like the back and forth. You know, I think over time, servers have gotten, conscious and been like, people ain't tipping. So they try to do all kinds of stuff, and then they rub off on the customers, and now the customers got a bad attitude, and they don't want to tip. That's why I'm just like, just eat at home, bro. Eat at home, and then we do need to fix the whole process. Raise these wages for service, man. Just raise the wages and just be done with it. Be done with it. Just cancel the whole tipping thing altogether.
Because if you sit up here and you think that, black people ain't gonna tip, they all want their steak well done, you will absolutely not get any money from me, because I don't want my steak well done. I don't want my steak beaten to death after it died. I don't want bad service because you think I'm not gonna tip you, because I am gonna tip you, and I'm actually a fine tipper, because $25 for a bar was extreme for me, to be honest. I mean, I would see if we was at a restaurant, but that was a lot for me. So I'm gonna just say this to the servers: when you think that there are certain people that won't tip based on their skin color, you won't get a tip, because you're going to radiate that energy and you're going to do something to make them not want to tip you, unconsciously or not.
Okay.
I've been seeing this trend about how black people don't tip, and I was just like, how we get the stereotype? Because every time I go out with my friends, the people in my life, we go out of our ways to tip 20% tip all the time. And even when the service is bad, I just went to Longhorn this weekend and the service was incredibly bad. I found the waitress to be a little rude, and I noticed that she only had a tone with my table, but not with anybody else, because I could hear her just hee hee ha ha hing. And the only difference between my table and everybody else in the restaurant is because we were the only people of color in that Longhorn at that moment, point blank period. So I was like, I'm not even gonna even say that.
And you know what? Longhorn trash. Longhorn trash. I don't even know what she about to say. I don't even know what she about to say. Me and my wife, we even feel like this now. The Longhorn where we live at, we done been there twice. Yeah, we've been there twice, because the first time we had a bad experience. They had us it's the whole building open. They put us way in the back corner, man. In the back corner, servers, and it was busy, but it wasn't that busy, but it was busy enough where we could get lost. The waiter would come through so many tables before they even get to us, so they kept on getting stop here. It took forever for us to even get an order, and I knew once we ordered, we weren't gonna get nothing else. We weren't gonna get no refills and that, because it took forever for that to happen. Then we went back to that Longhorn, similar situation. I mean, we was like, God, dog, most time, me and my lady, man, we go out, we look nice, we don't look like bummish, we're gonna tip, we okay, we genuine good people. Same thing. So Longhorn trash. I don't know what she about to say, but I'm pretty sure it's about to be some trash, F Longhorn, unless y'all want to sponsor me.
That's the reason. So as we're going through, as soon as we sat down, less than a minute later, she came to our table and she was like, what do you guys want? And I was just like, can we have a few seconds? And then she came back another minute later.
I want
like,
you to get
what
a
do you
better
guys
attitude.
want? And by the third time of doing this with 1 minute intervals, we were like, let's just go ahead and order. So I was like, can I have a water? And then I ordered my food. When the food finally came, it was very wrong. So I had ordered my steak medium. And that thing was so hard and so well done that I was like, shit, I'm gonna be chewing real hard right now. But I'm very much like, I don't like for food to go to waste. So I'm very like finicky about sending my food back. So I was like, I'm gonna try to eat this. I did not eat that because I just couldn't chew it. It was so hard. And the whole time she never came back to check on us. Only one time was because the table next to us needed something, and she was just like, you need anything? And we were just like, so I'm sitting there like, why is she talking to us so differently than like how she's talking to everybody else in this restaurant right now? So even after that service, I was like, okay, like there's already this stereotype going around, and I still went ahead and I tipped her 20%. And I was just like, no, like in that scenario, that would have been acceptable for me to not tip at all because the service was just not good. And so it got me thinking, like, are people in the food industry just like prejudging a person based on how they assume that they're going to tip them and then giving the service based off of that? Like, because if that's the case, that's a little alarming because I don't know if I'm going to trust somebody to prepare my food or even be comfortable eating in some places if I feel like they feel like based on how I look that I may not be tipping. So there's some type of like animosity there with the service I'm going to receive because I'm afraid that you might temper with my food, honestly.
Oh, I've been waiting to make this, man. Dear black people, why don't y'all tip? Why? Why do you not compensate the person that is bringing you your food? I don't get it. Why don't we tip? What has been ingrained, programmed in your damn brains to think that's okay?
All right, so let me just say this now. You're supposed to tip, I guess, whatever. But let's keep it a buck. Especially with DoorDash. DoorDash is so expensive before you even get to the tip. You got the food. The food already going to be elevated, right? They're going to raise the price for the food, right? Because it's coming through DoorDash. Then DoorDash you got to pay the delivery fee. Then if you like me, I want my shit express. So I'm putting that extra $2.99 on there. So I already ran up a bag. Now me, I tip. I tip my drivers because I'm like, this is convenience. I didn't have to get up. This is my fault that, this is my problem that I don't want to get my lazy ass about the bed and go down the street and get this food, right? But I will say, some folks like, bro, I'm spending $45 on an $18 meal already before I even get to the tip portion, right? Before I even get to the tip portion. I'm already spending this. And then they don't know how DoorDash work. I know how DoorDash work because I did DoorDash at one point in my life. And man, like the tip really does matter for the driver. You getting like you even getting a smidget of that. I think they even charging that. But yeah, it's a lot to go into it, man. Why people don't tip. Don't make an excuse for it, but I can see why people don't do it.
Every nigga I delivered to today did not tip. Every black person, male, female, out of the 10 deliveries I've done today, every person that has been of color has not tipped. Just left the nigga house right now. Beautiful homes up here, bro. The order's $24.86. This nigga pulls out $25 even. Yeah, I get that. You may say, well, that is.
Okay, black people at restaurants. As a server who has served for the last however long years, I don't want to say black people don't tip, but I will say black people are unforgiving. Like from the moment, like it starts in the parking lot, like where they're able to find parking. When they come into the hostess, did the hostess greet them in the way that they wanted to be greeted? Did they have to wait? Okay, like all those things before you even touch the table determines how it's gonna go down with black people. If you say you don't have something, like I used to work at a restaurant and some of the restaurant chains had alcohol, but our particular restaurant didn't have alcohol, and they just thought that we did. And I said, I'm sorry, man, we don't actually serve alcohol here. That was it for the rest of the day. That was it. They were done. Like it was nothing I could say. Like it was done. So I'm like, but I didn't do that though. Like, you just assumed that we had alcohol. Anyways, mind you, we're a breakfast spot, but whatever. So black people are unforgiving. If the food even takes longer than they think it should take. Like, and that's what I'm saying, being a server, like, I don't even know how do you explain this to people. Like, if there's 4 steaks on the table, and they compare themselves, but they really compare themselves to white people. So like, if a white couple gets their meals before them, like, how did they get their meals? Well, that's because the white couple ordered bacon and eggs and grits with a biscuit, and y'all ordered 4 steaks, all well done. Like, what the fuck? Like, so you have to know how to operate with black people. I don't treat them any differently, but what I will say for larger groups of black people, I run the show. If you're a server, you cannot let black people run the show. If it's a group of 10 people, who's on the same tab? Because those are the orders I'm taking first. Don't, like, you're not going to tell me we're going to start down here. I'm going to tell you where we're going to start. And you also have to be proactive. Make sure they have everything at the table beforehand. Make sure with those type of tables, I run my food like I'm on it. Anyways, I say all that to say is that it's not that black people don't tip, it's that they're very unforgiving. Like, one table, I'll never forget them. Like, there was like a group of 4 people. Their tab was, let's just say $100. We didn't have any biscuits. They came at the end of the day. We ran out of biscuits. And I said, you know what? We're making some fresh biscuits. You guys can bring it to go. I guess they didn't hear me. The tab was paid for. They're walking out. And I said, hey guys, like, I got like 8 biscuits. It's like a, to go for them, like with the cream and everything. And they were like, oh yeah. And then they came back and left me $20. Mind you, they had only left me $100 on a $100 tab. And they only gave me $20 because I gave them the biscuits. So it's not that black people don't tip, but they're unforgiving. So you need to be on it when it comes to them. But I just think that.
So I like her perspective. I like her perspective because of how she going about it and by being unforgiving. But I will say, being black and going to restaurants, and I grew up in the South, right? I grew up in Mississippi. Going to restaurants, I have witnessed with my own eyes, me and my wife have witnessed with our own eyes being treated differently because of the color of our skin. Now, we're cool people. We don't like to hold grudges. We just move on with life. But everybody is not like that. If you have a lot of experiences like that where you get into like the Longhorn incident I was just talking about, right? You have a couple instances like that. Now my view of restaurants is skewed. I'm already on 10, even though I know I'm out. I know, hey, I have a choice to be out here, but it's already like that. And as a server, right, this is your job. This is your job to serve me. You are a server, right? To make sure I have the best experience possible while I'm there. You're not going to please everybody. I get it. If you're busy, that is fine. But it's a way of communicating, right? It's a whole class, right? I've seen whole classes on how to be a server. A lot of people just don't know how to be a server. It's a way to engage with the people that you're serving to, even just when they make them feel warm and wanting and make them feel like, hey, we want you to be here. Thank you for being with us. We're going to give you the best experience ever, not just what you want. You know what I'm saying? But I think I like her perspective. I get what she's saying.
I just think that people in general don't tip. Like, I've had white tables not tip me, Indian tables not tip me, Mexicans, people, it's a people thing. I think it's just like, it's different when, if this Asian couple or this Indian couple doesn't tip me, they didn't run me all over the restaurant. Sometimes black people, they will run you all over the restaurant and then not tip you. So that adds insult to injury. Or they'll, your tab is like $100-something and they'll give you $5 in your hand and like, they think they did something, you know what I'm saying? But either way, for me, I just try not to complain. I try not to say anything. It just doesn't, by the time I sit there and complain, I already got like 2 other tables to tend to, so.
I saw this post about black people not tipping, and as a black male who served tables for 3 years.
I 100% believe it's our social faux pas, like not tipping and walking into elevators before others give off, and just inconsiderate things like that is behind so much of like the animosity and hatred. True story. Like, if we're going to live in a diverse society with so many different cultures, then we have to have some genuine social norms that we all agree upon that shows that, hey, we're all American and this is what brings us together. Like, if we're all going to live in this diverse society where we have so many different races and cultures and identities, we have to have some social norms that bring us all together and unite us, because if not, we're not a group of people, we're just a bunch of strangers. And for some reason, either because they're not taught or they're just purposely disobeyed, we just reject so many basic social standards. Also, this isn't a black thing. Ask anybody who's been to Paris about why you can't get on the Eiffel Tower.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have a bone to pick.
Yeah, I don't know what brother was talking about right there. I have no clue what brother was talking about. Anyway, yeah, that's the video, y'all. So apparently black people don't tip. So if you black and you watching this video, please tip these folks so they can stop making videos about this. I don't think every black person don't tip. I do think it's some traumas that's been happen, you know, over the years, maybe learning behaviors and things like that. Now, me personally, I think you should tip, especially if you're getting good service, you know, knowing what they make, you know. But the whole gratuity, now, I never get down with that. I never get down with that. And if you got a problem with tipping, don't go out to eat. All right. And if you got a problem with not getting tips, find another job. That's, I mean, as simple as that. As simple as that. Anyway, that's the video. Thank y'all so much. Make y'all sure y'all subscribe. I'm still trying to get to 100 subscribers. Help your boy out. It's free. All right. Make sure you like this video. And until next time.